Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. 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 Welcome back. I am here with a book review. Some of you might be wondering what's going on. Is she still going to be doing book reviews? I see she's doing vlogs. Yes, I'm still doing book reviews. That is originally what my channel was for. And I'm not going to give it up. I'm still reading almost every day. Um, and so I'm just building out my channel a little bit more. I will still be doing book reviews with the same consistency that I've been doing for the past, how much ever long I've been doing it. But I do want to, like I said, build out my channel, do a little bit more vlogs, do like day in the life. Um, I'm still deciding on like hair care. Skincare. I don't know. I'm kind of just going with the vibe and seeing like what happens. Um, so for if you've been one of those people that has like tuned into my travel vlog, and my travel prep vlog, you commented, you liked it, you shared it with someone. I really, really, really mean it. Thank you guys so much. And yeah, we'll see where the channel goes. But like I said, I'm here with a book review, so let's jump right into it. I'm not gonna show the book because I'm doing front camera and I don't want it to like be flipped. But I do have this new like editing software that seems like really good. So I might try to put a picture somewhere. If I can't figure it out, then you'll see I'll probably put a picture of the book on the thumbnail because yeah, but the name of the book is Happiness Falls by Angie Kim. I'm going to be looking here because, of course, got to have my notes. I don't want to forget anything. But I originally picked up Happiness Falls because of the content. It seemed like when I read the blurb and then when I went on Goodreads and I got like a little summary of what the book was talking about, I loved the content. I feel like it was different, it was new, it wasn't something that I've read before. So it's basically a mystery. And in this story, so there's a family, like an Asian American family. And so there's mom, there's dad, and then they have three kids. One of the kids has he's nonverbal, which basically means like he doesn't like speak words. Um, and he has something else called like um he has another syndrome that just like he's a person with disabilities. So immediately I'm like, yeah, because I've said it 100 times, I'm a special education teacher, so I work with students that have brain-based disabilities, and many of them are nonverbal. And many of them use this like communication, different types of communication devices, boards, iPads, eye gaze devices. So reading that the story was a mystery about someone, the dad who ended up missing while being out on a walk with the boy that's nonverbal, I was like, oh, how would they ever solve it? So I think that was what really like gripped me at first. And so yeah, the whole premise is that the dad and the boy who is nonverbal went for like a walk or a hike or something, and then the boy ended up coming back home alone, super frazzled and like frustrated and like worked up, and the dad never came home. And so the only hope that they had of like trying to like really get the true story of what happened would be from the boy. His name is Eugene. So I'm like, yeah, sign me up. And that's really what the book is about, like them trying to go through camera footage, them trying to go through like bystanders, word of mouth, like search parties, police, like just a whole bunch of just, it's just a big mystery, just trying to solve like what happened with that. um so yeah, I'll go into my likes. The first thing that I liked is that the book is bringing awareness to people with disabilities, students with disabilities, and also just like nonverbal people in general. Um, I've only been working with that community of people for about a year and a month. So before that, I was just like a general education teacher. So, I mean, I was a special education teacher, but not to the extent that I am now, where like my entire class is like brain based disabilities. Um, so, if I'm being completely honest, like before even becoming a teacher, just like being out in the world, like you would see people that have they'd be in wheelchairs, they'd have like these like all of these machines and gadgets like hooked up to them, their faces would be like kind of distorted, they wouldn't speak, and the human inclination is to think that they, I mean, for lack of a better word, are like dumb, or they can't understand you, or you have to talk to them like a child, or you have to like, you speak to like whoever they're with, but you won't speak directly to them. And me for myself, like I was 100% of that mentality. And then of course, since working at my job, I'm just like, yeah, everything that I thought about this community of people is completely wrong. Just because somebody's nonverbal doesn't mean that number one, you have to talk to them as a child, because you don't. You given certain diagnoses, um, it would be helpful to speak slower and to use less like advanced language, but like you don't have to be like, oh my god, like like a like baby language type of thing. You don't have to do that. I love that it's bringing awareness to the fact that just because someone's nonverbal doesn't mean that they don't have a bunch of words in their brain. Like I have four students that are nonverbal in my class, and I promise you, we can talk about literally anything. They joke just the same on their devices. They carry on conversation back and forth. Like I ask you something, you answer. Now you ask. Like normal conversation, they're very much aware of time, space, events, people. Like just because someone doesn't verbally speak doesn't mean that they don't have a bunch of ideas in their brain, um and that they can't like learn and communicate and help, so I think that's like my number one like about this book, because I just feel like a lot of people are where I used to be before working with this community, of just thinking like they're not capable, or you have to like kind of like dumb down the way that you speak to them, or you just don't speak to them at all, and that's like not the case. So that's my number one like for sure. My second like is that the book is like written pretty recently, so they're mentioning like stuff about the pandemic. It's like prime COVID time in the book. Um, which I like. Like it just brings like a bit of like familiar. I can never say this word. Familiarity. I wish I wasn't using my phone to record so I could hear Siri say it. A bit of familiarity. Is that the word, y'all? Like I could never say that word right. Anyway, we're familiar with that as it just happened like a few years ago. So I thought that was fun. Well, not fun, but like, oh yeah, like I know exactly like what you mean. Not saying that other books that are set like in different times and spaces are like unrelatable, but it's just a little bit more relatable. I like that the book was a mystery. I don't typically go for mystery books. I read a lot of mystery books when I was growing up, like children's mystery books. I can't remember any of the names right now, but like solving mysteries, solving crimes, like that type of thing. Um, but I kind of gravitated away from mystery books as I grew up. I kind of preferred more like, realistic fiction, historical fiction, that type of stuff. So to have just like a true mystery, I think the last mystery book I read was the girl on the train, or a girl on the train. What's it called? Oh, I don't have it here. I lent it to my friend. But yeah, so I like that it was a little different from what I usually gravitate towards. And then my last like is that I like, so most of the book is told from so like I said, there's three kids. Eugene is the one that's nonverbal, and then there's a brother and a sister who are twins. So it's the girl twin is the one who's doing like most of the talking in the book, if not all of the talking in the book. She's like young, feisty, very intelligent, like basically almost solves the whole thing herself. comes up with like all these ideas and this and that. So I like that that was like she got the main character. She was giving main character energy. Now, for my dislikes, I have three main ones. The first one is that I feel like the book was like 50 pages too long. Like I took this book with me on vacation and then I took another one because I honestly thought that I was going to be done with this book on the plane. Um, but by the last 50 pages, I'm like, okay, like let's go. We could have wrapped this up 50 pages earlier than we needed to. I just feel like it was just like dragged. And then y'all know how I feel. If I feel like if I'm reading and I'm starting to feel like, okay, this is kind of becoming like a chore for me to finish this book, then I just start reading slower. Then I want to like not finish. Then I'm like, no, I'm losing interest. I'm like, So I think definitely by the last 50 pages, I started feeling like that. And so it took me longer to finish when I could have just finished. If I hope you know what I'm talking about. In the book, so okay, I'll give for these last two, I have to give just teeny tiny spoilers. So if you don't want to hear any spoilers at all, then you can just pause right here and come back after you read the book. But it's not anything major at all. So in the book, the dad was trying, he was doing a bunch of experiments like over a course of a few years, experiments about happiness, like how can we truly be happy, what are some practical things we can do to like raise or lower our happiness levels. And in the book he was calling it like the happiness quotient and just like all that type of stuff. And there's a lot of like sections in the book where they're like using mathematical language, and it's like, oh well, this divided by this gets you to that, and the sum of this divided by all and I'm just like, huh? And that's probably my bad because I didn't like flip through the whole book to like see what the context of the book, like what it looked like inside, because like nobody, I wasn't expecting it to have like mad like, I mean, I probably wouldn't be able to show you exactly what I mean, especially with it being like flipped, but maybe I can find like a little something for you. Um, Maybe in the like later parts of the book. Let's see. Let's see here. No, that's not it. Yeah, probably should have written down the like specific pages that was like upsetting to me. um, hold on. Stay with us, stay with us, stay with us. Yeah, it's just like I can't show you because it's gonna be flipped. But it's just like a bunch of like, yeah, never mind. There's just like math stuff going on in there. And if anybody knows me, or if you knew me from high school, math and me, we just don't get along. Where we just don't get along. We're not friends. We're not acquaintances. Maybe we're acquaintances because you have to do math to like get through life, right? But like friends, nah. If I knew that there's gonna be, it's not a lot. I feel like if you're like a mystery nerdish kind of like reader, then you would be like, oh, this is fun. And it's not too much where like an avid reader who like myself can't get through it, but it's just like, all right. And then the last dislike is, and again, a little bit of a spoiler. The last dislike that I had is that the story didn't end with us being like, this is exactly what happened to dad. It just ended with like, and let me chill. It just ended with a hypothesis of like, this is most likely what happened. And I just feel like that was so annoying to go through so many pages of like, this could possibly happen. This is a theory. This is a blah, blah, blah. And then to get to the end and not piece it together completely and wrap it up in a bowl. always say the author does not have to wrap everything up like with a nice bow to appease me or to appease us. Okay, that's their autonomy. So yeah, those were my dislikes. So the themes, of course, like people with disabilities, people that are nonverbal. Like they were discussing the mother and the children's relationship, like how she would interact with the kid, with Eugene. She would be one of the people that would like baby him. Sibling relationships. So like the twins and how like being a twin can be like really annoying sometimes because like you always get compared to your twin. But also like the twins' relationship with Eugene and how like there were many times where they like really disliked him because he would have like outbursts and he would be violent occasionally and because he sometimes couldn't control his actions and stuff. And so I feel like that's also really relevant for someone who grew up with a sibling or a family member that lived like closely with them that had like some sort of like disability. Like I'm sure that they could relate to that quite a bit. um I guess happiness, right, and expectations, because remember I told you a little while ago that the dad was doing like a bunch of experiments of like how can I make my family happy, what does it mean to be happy, like if I lower expectations on this, would it balance out. Yeah, so that kind of stuff. And then I guess an overall theme is just like moving on, right? When someone's missing but you never like really officially find out what happens, like how do you move on from that? Yeah, so that kind of thing. I liked the book. I think the original, like my biggest like, where I said like it addresses stuff about like people with disabilities and people that are nonverbal, that really like helped the book a lot. I think if it was just like a normal characters and a normal person, I might have been like more annoyed. But I liked the book. I wouldn't give it 4 stars. I'm gonna give a good like 3.5. 3.5. I think I'm gonna go with that. But yeah, let me know if you guys have read Happiness Falls before. I think it's relatively new. It might be a 2023, 2024. Let me see. 2024. So it came out this year. So it's still a bit new. Let me know if you've read it and share your thoughts in the comments. I always respond to comments. Or if you might be interested in reading it now because maybe you have a sibling or a child that has that's nonverbal. And they also talk about like the kind of like the skepticism that comes along with like doing therapy with people who are nonverbal, and like did they actually say that, did they actually write that? So that's like a whole other component that I really enjoyed. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to like this video and share it with someone that you know would enjoy this content. um, I want to thank you guys for showing support as always. Subscribe if you haven't already and you're seeing this video for more book content, more vlogs, and wherever else this channel goes. We're kind of in a transitionary phase right now. And that's it for me. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.